Homeless, houseless, nomad, hashtag van lifer, home on wheels. Labels matter, so I wanted to help with understanding. And it all starts with this guy.
It's all offset by joy, the
Mm.
joy of I get from knowing that I've made a difference in people's lives.
When I did the first interview with the legend of van life, Bob Wells, the inspiration of the Oscar winning movie Nomadland, I'd been on the road less than 3 months. I had followed his YouTube channel, Cheap RV Living, faithfully for a year. I built out most of my SUV based on his videos. I don't know what you hope your legacy will be, but for me, it is about the fact that you've changed the lives of tens of thousands of people. And a million will be here in, what, 3 weeks?
Mhm.
And good luck going to have a shower without people talking
Oh, I
to
don't
you.
even try.
Yeah, there's a shower in town that also does. Also has the laundromat, and sometimes there's a lineup. So I can't imagine Bob standing in line without people chatting with him. So I hope some days when you're like busy working and building new things and new websites, I hope that you take a moment to realize that you truly are transforming lives, and I'm very grateful for you.
It's been my pleasure and joy. I wouldn't change a bit of the last. I wouldn't change a bit of my life.
Yeah.
I'm glad where I've ended up.
When you posted about crying in a van in Alaska, I think there are tens of thousands of us who wish that we could have been there and told you that it's going to be okay. Um, because that darkness is what helped all of us come out of whatever we're dealing with. And I'm always sad when I think about the fact that you didn't know how amazing this was going to be in that dark night.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
very much. Thank you.
We were in one of his home bases, Quartzsite, Arizona, on Christmas Eve. Bob feels very much at home in Quartzsite, but he feels at home anywhere his home on wheels is, from Alaska to Arizona. I will link the full interviews of both mine and his in the description. And then I have all that foot space. So I have, when I put my seat up, I have almost 6 feet.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And I'm 5'8".
Nearly all nomads, unless you can afford to uh, settle down into an RV park where you can get electricity and hookups so that you can overcome the weather. We travel with the weather. So I will spend 4 months here in the Arizona desert.
For Bob and his 859,000 YouTube subscribers, we're not homeless. Our homes are on wheels. His not for profit, actually called Home on Wheels Alliance, HOWA. It assists people with broken down vehicles or broken down dreams, helping them get back on their feet and on their wheels.
Whatever you need done, we will do. Um, and if you could ever come to one of those, and the people who are receiving are, it's life changing.
Yes.
To all of a sudden have a bed in your home when you're
Yeah.
sleeping in the car seat, the back seat, is life changing. And the volunteers
Totally.
are come and they change these people's lives.
As I write this, I have been in a home on wheels for a year and a half. I can only speak for me, but your home is a place of comfort. And when a house becomes uncomfortable for any reason, it is no longer a home, no longer a place of safety. For me, I left a beautiful condo when the financial situation became incredibly stressful after my SUV and camper were destroyed and my body very damaged by a stop sign runner without a driver's license. 3.5 years in to date, and still no financial settlement, and I had been self employed. So I moved into the smaller SUV the insurance company replaced my Pathfinder with, and overnight reduced my expenses by more than $3,000 a month Canadian. So you give them the tools to dream bigger. Like Bob, I learned to be at home wherever I was, from truck stops to riverbanks, mountaintops to ocean fronts, deserts to forests. But in van life, there is something called stealth camping, the art of not being seen, because people don't want us there. We're an unsavory lot. In the 60s and 70s, we'd be called hippies. To many homeowners or renters, though, we're just homeless. And that has a very negative connotation for us. Nobody has said it to my face, but the understanding is that if you sleep in a vehicle, you're not welcome to a parking spot in front of a home overnight. However, our numbers are growing. In another episode, I will get into the housing crisis and some of the people I have met who were forced to opt out in their very golden years. But I think intuitively you all know people of all ages are falling between the cracks.
I've been up and down these city streets 3 nights in a row. And Lord, it's hard to find that girl when she gets the urge to go.
The problem is, and what happens is that we get lumped in with the homeless because to their mind you don't have a home, so you're homeless.
Right.
And so when they walk down the street, they're in their hometown. The larger the town, the more homeless there will be. And here's a bum laying on the street, and he's puking and peeing on himself. And so there's a real there has come to be in this country, instead of loving compassion towards the homeless, a disgust and even hatred. It's in this country in particular. There's just
Oh no, we have
a
it too.
contempt for the homeless that people see in this city. And then as they're now they're building particularly in the cities, they're building camps, tent cities, and now they're bringing in these used vehicles that won't run anymore, but they got sitting on the street. And you've got um, people living in cars that either don't run or won't run very long, and so we get wrapped in with them, and so they're mostly feeling they don't not only feel sorry for them, they feel contempt for them. Broadly, very broadly speaking, a lot of exceptions.
Some communities actually see the economic advantage of putting out the red carpet for bona fide homeowners on wheels. And hopefully, more resources could then go to the crisis of people living on the streets or in shelters as we help address a housing crisis by removing ourselves from that definition. In Quartzsite, for example, a town of 4,000 turns into a mecca of a million. Showers sell for $18. The local grocery stores can't even keep up. Nomads are just good for business. In this West Quebec town in Canada, Campbell's Bay, it has welcome signs and clean bathrooms for van lifers and a very polite sign asking you to shop local.
Most of the anti-fan dwelling movement is in cities. There are whole states that do it, but most of those decisions are made in a local city.
Right.
Here in the U.S., we're mostly on federal land, and as of now, federal land has not changed at all. You're still welcome to camp for obeying all the laws, all the rules, for usually 14 days at a time. Then you move. You have to move at least 28 miles.
In Canada, we of course have crown land and logging roads, and you are allowed to camp there. The problem is, Canada also has winter, a very dominant part of our culture and our weather patterns. There is a small corner of Canada, Vancouver Island, and parts of Vancouver that don't have anything other than rainfall in the winter. But some of the communities on Vancouver Island are getting pretty much sick and tired of all of the van lifers going to Vancouver Island for the winter, which is what I did in off season. However, you're also dealing with pouring rain. So those are the challenges in Canada.
It's all offset by joy, the joy of I get from knowing that I've made a difference in people's lives. I've
Sure
made
beats sitting
people's
in an
lives
old age
better.
home.
Pardon me?
Sure beats sitting in an old
Oh
age
yeah,
home.
yeah. I'm only 69, almost 70, and so no, I don't even think of that as old anymore. And so I've got my health, and I've got the majority of my mental facilities still functioning pretty darned well, I think. In fact, I think that doing this has kept me, I probably, if I had not been doing all this, I think my mental capacity would have been much less. My memory wouldn't have been as less. I have to keep things in mind all the time, and No, I think I am far better off physically and mentally, emotionally, because of doing this. Like you said, I could be sitting at home in a rocking chair. Man, my life would be greatly shortened if I had stayed at home in a rocking chair.
I've owned a couple very expensive houses in a bougie downtown neighborhood of a G7 capital city. And long before the accident, I was almost constantly stressed out about money. As a single parent, I was in the rat race. I even hosted international students in my downstairs apartment to pay the bills while being a full time television anchor. So, whether it's a $100,000 Mercedes Sprinter or a tricked out RV, tiny car, or the SUV that was in your heated underground parking. Ahem. Living in a home on wheels brings freedom for many, and they are not to be feared. They are just people who believe that home is where the heart is, and theirs is on the road, where Freedom 55 means 55 miles an hour.